And I'm back. So this is everything for the month of May 2024. It's now summertime, so it is really hot to where I live right now. So sporadic filming of these updates just because I only have a small window on the weekends to get these filmed before my office gets just unbearably hot. So just gonna jump right into it. Usagi Yojimbo. I thought this was issue 40 when I first got it, but no. It's 40 is Usagi Yojimbo. It's classic number 276, part 2 of The Crow. Usagi and his cousin Yukichi. Remember his name for once. Yukichi's kind of left Usagi because Usagi's friends are not bandits, bounty hunters, and they're after this guy, the Crow, and he doesn't feel being a bounty hunter is very honorable, but he kind of realizes the error of his ways. He's like, I should go find him, but then he gets kidnapped by the gang or a gang of bounty hunters looking for the Crow, and it's all being used against him. His swords are also destroyed, one of his swords, and then the bandits show up to tell Yosagi they have his cousin. So, yeah, pretty fun story. I say this every single month. I love Usagi Yojimbo. Keep up the good work, Stan. Moving on. Transformers issue 8. Of course, from Danny Warren Johnson, Jorge Corona. I'm really digging Corona on art. Honestly, it's a tough to follow up Daniel Warren Johnson, but it has been really good so far. RC is kind of talking and giving some flashbacks about some of her time on Cybertron and just all the stuff she dealt with there with Ultra Magnus. Pretty cool backstory stuff. Soundwave and the Decepticons go and find their crashed ship in the ocean and pull it out and get it up and running, and things are building. It's kind of funny. There's a part Jetfire. He can't transform. I think he's damaged. They have to repair him, so they're actually using him as a actual vehicle, and there's a shot here. Yeah, they're all crammed inside. It's kind of silly but cool. And yeah, they're off to find the Decepticons, and then last page, kind of cliffhanger, they get their ship. The Decepticons get the ship up. Soundwave contacts home, and my oh my, who is that? I forget that robot's name. He's the Canyon. It's on the tip of my tongue. That'll come to me next month. But yeah, pretty fun. This book just keeps going on and on. It's really fun. There's always like these little previews of the G.I. Joe books, and they have a new G.I. Joe monthly that kind of combines all these miniseries into one, which is kind of fun. But I'm not going to pick that up. I'm just going to stick with Transformers and Void Rivals for now. I'm really liking Void Rivals still. Moving on. Pretty much all the Ultimate books are kind of in a row here. Ultimate X-Men. I love Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man is really, really good. But this Ultimate X-Men book is just blowing me away. I think this might be my favorite Marvel comic of the year. Like, so far, it's just so fun. Like Peach Momoko is just basically giving us the X-Men manga I've always wanted, and delivering. Like, all these characters are really great so far. Their introduction, their powers, like, it's just, yeah, this mystery of the mutants and who they are. I don't know if this girl is Storm, because Storm does show up in Ultimate Black Panther, but yeah, at the very end, a few more girls are introduced, and one of them just like, oh, you're a mutant too. And it's like, what's going on? What else like is a little lexicon page at the back where Peach Momoko explains some of the Japanese, just some of the things that pop up, some of the cultural things that you'll see in the book, which is really nice. But this feels like a shoujo manga, honestly. Like, not full on magical girl manga yet, but it's kind of getting there. I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. I highly, highly recommend it. Moving on though to Ultimate Black Panther. This book's fine. I have no problem with it. Stefano Casilli is back on art this issue. There was a fill-in last issue, which is strange because only in issue 4. And yeah, T'Challa's still kind of missing. He's learning more about this place where he is. There's spies in the city. T'Challa can't trust anyone. He makes his way back home and basically tells his wife and Shuri, this is his inner circle. These are the only people he can trust. I'm pretty sure one of these two, though, either his wife or Shuri, is the traitor. But, that's just kind of a trope, right? So we'll see where that goes. This book's fine, but compared to the other two Ultimate books, and I haven't gotten to read Ultimates, which is another pile I have to read, but this one's kind of the bottom of the 3. maybe the bottom of 4. I'll stick it with the 6 issues, right? I give everything 6 issues, so we'll see where it goes. I'm curious to see if Moon Knight shows up as a villain, because, he's fighting against the combined forces of Ra and Khonshu, so we'll see where it goes. Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, as much, and again, I think Ultimate X-Men is probably my favorite Marvel comic right now. Ultimate Spider-Man is like a very close second. They're like tied for first, honestly. This is a fun issue after kind of the last month's kind of date with Peter and Harry and their partners, Gwen and Mary Jane, respectively. This is all about kind of a flashback of Harry taking over his father's company and learning about all the inner workings of the world and how it's all crooked, and realizing he's basically got all this Stark tech because Oscorp took it over after Tony Stark is framed as a terrorist, and they build him the Green Goblin armor, and it's really cool. Kind of makes sense that's how he was able to hack Spider-Man's suit. It's just Stark tech that he's running. But yeah, they're building up something pretty good, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Especially because the Green Goblin is just like Peter's Spider-Man, right? He's got that same Spider-Man vibe. He's not trying to kill anybody. Where the Green Goblin is very much like, the world is so crazy and crooked, and it's been, my whole life's been kind of a lie, and I'm gonna burn it from the inside, right? He hasn't revealed that stuff yet to Peter, but I'm sure that'll come up. That's where the conflict will come from, I assume. Moving on, Void Rivals, as I said, with Transformers. It's the other kind of Transformer G.I. Joe verse book I'll keep on. I'm really digging this story. Our two protagonists have kind of made it after their fight from the last issue. They made it to this base where they run to the Transformer, where it's kind of cool. And he starts fighting the guy that's been chasing them. And yeah, pretty fun issue. They're hinting at something like this planet that they're on, where they're both from. Kind of the metal that's mined there or processed there, or there's something with this planet that the Quincenticons, these dudes, I don't know what they're called in Transformer lore, multi-face guys, are after, or is like really important to them. So yeah, maybe we'll see how it ties into some bigger stuff there, but can't go wrong with that book. Sacrificers number 8. This issue focuses back on our boy Pigeon after he's been on the run. Not so much to run. He's been traveling home. He wants to go home and see the family that, even though they may not have loved him or supported him or even give him a name, he wanted to go back now that he's escaped. He still has these abilities. He finds his home destroyed, and then he's picked up and kind of taken in. And it's just like, but he's seen as the sacrificer. Everyone's like, everything's kind of going to shit around them, and they're blaming him for it because he should have been sacrificed. He's showing back up. He kind of falls into his guilt, and he's like, maybe you're right. I should just go. I should be killed. I should be sacrificed. But then hearing the guy who's going to kill him is the father of one of the other sacrificers, and he basically last minute stops himself getting killed, kills the guy, and is basically like, I am going to go kill those who are actually responsible. So yeah, set up some good stuff. Again, got two kind of like story arcs here, one on Pigeon, one on the princess who's on the run. I'm sure they'll cross paths again. But I'm still digging this book. I think this book's gonna be around for a while. I'm kind of getting, yeah. Feels good. I highly recommend that one. And then I Hate Fairyland 14. Basically this one, Gert. Well, issues ago, she kind of caused like a zombie monster apocalypse, like a Gremlins kind of scenario. And now it's back. So this issue literally ends with the end, like an apocalyptic gremlin future for Fairyland. I shouldn't say future. It's, the gremlins are all killing everything. And Kurt's like, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, we'll kind of see what happens next issue. I love this book because it's just all over the place. Like we've had so far in this volume 2, like 2 apocalypses. Gert's died and come back. Gert's from the parallel universe. Queen of Clouds, I can't remember her name. Queen Claudia is trapped in the real world. They made a movie about Gert's life. Yeah, laugh out loud. Like seriously, I laugh out loud reading this book. I highly recommend that one. Then the last one, another book from Distillery. I'm really liking Distillery books. Haven't gotten any of their collected trades. I'm waiting to kind of see what the quality is like. I saw one review. It was fine. Maybe some shipping issues. Just some of the pages were a little like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. They were not like torn or anything, but definitely kind of damaged. Anyways, Scott Snyder, who I'm like on the fence about. I think Scott Snyder has a lot of great ideas. I just don't think he's the strongest finisher when it comes to a story. But Francesco Francavilla, I love this guy's art. And these guys are doing a horror comic, which they've done before, and I really like that book, so I picked up this one. It's kind of like this guy's looking for, his family's been lost at sea before, and mysterious disappearances, and he's kind of investigating some weird stuff, and then he ends up on this island that's kind of spooky. So, yeah, a lot is going on, a lot is afoot. There's some sort of crazy creature in the back. So far, so good. Like I said, very good. It's kind of dealing with that kind of like, you got the tentacle series, you're thinking like a kind of Cthulhu elder god kind of thing, but we'll see. The last horror book they did was kind of like a take on vampires, which was actually really interesting, and the ending was pretty good. I'm thinking back to, I think one of the first kind of horror centric books I read by Scott Snyder was The Wake with Sean Gordon Murphy, and the ending of that was honestly kind of weak, but everything leading up to that was really good, and then the ending just like, I don't know, it just didn't come together very well. Anyways, moving on to the trades, since those were the singles, only 2 this month. Got the final volume, I should say, of Jonathan Hickman's Avengers run, the complete collection. So this is everything right up to the very end of the runs on Avengers, New Avengers, and it ties in directly to the Secret Wars mini, which is pretty good. This has probably one of my favorite moments in any Avengers run, where Thor and Hyperion have the last stand against the Beyonders. See if I can find it in here real quick. But either way, it's great. This whole run has so many epic moments. There's a couple really great Thor ones, but at this point in the story, Thor he's unworthy, so he's unable to use Mjolnir, but he acquired an evil version of Mjolnir from a parallel Thor who is evil, who has a hammer that says basically the same enchantment as Mjolnir. Instead of those who are worthy, it says those who are unworthy. So he's using that, and then when he goes to make his final stand, he goes to pick up his unworthy hammer, and he can't. He kind of starts laughing because he realizes, I'm now worthy again. And him and Hyperion, what's the line? Hyperion's like, will I see you in Valhalla? Thor's like, this day I will race you there, brother. But yeah, this is great. This is the end, like, of the probably my favorite. This is my favorite Avengers run. I was thinking of like the late 90s, George Perez and not Greg Rucka, Mark Waid and George Perez. That run is top notch. That made the Avengers cool again. So that's like number 2. This is number 1 for sure. Next month, my next shipment, I now start getting, because this is done, I'm now getting the Fantastic Four version of the complete collection. So that will have Fantastic Four and Future Foundation, which is also a great Fantastic Four run. And then the last book I got this month is just another Hellboy book. What's a month without a Hellboy book? This is the artist collection for Richard Corbin. So this just collects all of Richard Corbin's Hellboy stories from like Makima, as you can see up front here. Crooked Man's in this volume, which is coming out as a Hellboy movie fairly soon. I really like Richard Corbin. I've been getting all his stuff. They've been reprinting it. I think some of this stuff is actually collected in the library editions, which I also am collecting, but it's, can't go wrong doubling down on Richard Corbin, honestly. Oh, this has the Mexico story. This is my favorite Hellboy story. Hellboy, luchadors, Mexico, fighting vampires. It is so good. It is so good. That's such a great story. But yeah, this is going to be a great read, honestly. Like, if you like Hellboy, Richard Corbin, can't go wrong, right? So, Richard Corbin, Hellboy, Avengers, lots of good books this month, actually. Things are kind of quiet, though I suspect that I'm going to get a pretty big stack soon, because there's some books I know I've been kind of tracking that I haven't gotten yet for the year. That usually means they all come in the same month. But yeah, as always, let me know what you think. Send me your jeers, send me your cheers, and I'll talk to you next month.